Welcome back to the channel then, guys. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. I often get asked, how do I start a clan? How do I grow my clan? How do I get to the pro scene? And I have two of the best members of the community, Gum and Hold My Beer, who both individually started their own clans, grew right of the way up, and are now pro players. Happy to share their journey with you and give you tips along the way. So Gum, thank you so much for joining me. What's your story of Clash of Clans?
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. I started this game. I had an injury and, I was in a cast or something like that, and I had nothing else to do. And I said, let me download. I didn't even know Clash was a multiplayer game. So I downloaded this. So I joined, some clan that was, in my region. And I just didn't like losing. So I always was trying to take the reins and steer everything, right? I had been watching those first videos that Powerbang made. And I said, I need to find a better clan, so I can evolve my game. And a friend of mine said, I know someone over here. And, that was just kind of how it happened, and all of a sudden I found myself in an invite clan, really not being good enough to be there at all. I always kind of tried to organize things the best I could. And so I kind of accidentally found myself in leadership in really high level clans. Beer and I had met and had been discussing ways, to make our clans better, et cetera, et cetera. And one day we said, maybe we should team up here. And that was the start of what became Lost Meta Gaming. And Lost Meta Gaming is what turned into Space Station. So it's been a long, interesting, accidental journey to where I am today.
Wow, that's pretty exciting there. So, Hold My Beer, I know that your journey is a little bit different to that. Thank you for joining me, by the way. Why don't you introduce yourself and share with us your story?
My journey was a little more planned out than Gum's was. I was the founder of Actually Something. Me and a bunch of my friends here in the Philadelphia area founded Actually Something, and we were just a random clan that had a group of, I would say, 8 to 10 players who were very serious about the game. Actually Something made it way over to CWL for season 3, and we finished 2-9. So we found out right away that the high-end war scene is much different than the random clan scene. And from there, I said after taking that 2-9 scene, I think that's right around the time Tom and I started getting very serious about what can we do to. He's very good with organizational skills. We had some nice players with us. He had some nice players with him. What can we do to kind of combine forces here to move forward and be one of the top level clans? And like he said, that's where Lost Meta Gaming started, which then rolled into Space Station as time has progressed.
That's awesome. So you guys both had a very different journey into leadership, if you will. What would you say your takeaway messages are on that route for people that are maybe trying to start a clan? And we kind of rolled into expanding a clan and how you guys went through that journey. If you had to give someone one main tip, what would that be? Gum, let's start with yourself.
Surround yourself with people who you would surround yourself with in everyday life. So I think choosing good human beings is, one of the tenets of our process here at, Space Station.
Yeah, totally. And I know one of the bits of advice I always give when people ask me, how do I start a clan? It's really figuring out what you want from the game and kind of similar, what type of a person and a player you are, because you need to surround yourself with them type of players in order to be successful. So Hold My Beer, what would you think is the main tip to give to people for starting and growing their clan?
I would say, and I'm learning from my own mistakes in the past, is keeping a core group of players that have the same vision and direction as you, but also not expanding too fast. And I've made that mistake in the past where I get excited. There's a lot of players that want to come in, and as you're growing a clan, having a large leadership group, I would say any larger than 4 or 5, really can be detrimental to the clan itself. I think you need to, like Gum said, is have your core values and keep those core values. And even if your clan is only 10, 15, 20 players, with a core group and core values, you can take yourself to the next level with no problem, with people all on the same page, moving in the same direction. And like Gum said, when you get people in there that are causing trouble or causing toxicity within your clan, it's going to be very difficult for you to proceed to the next level. So keep it small, keep it tight, and keep it focused. And those are the things that you need to move to the next level.
One point worth adding is, I think you need to decide what it is that you want to accomplish, right? So if you want to just have a farm clan, then some of these decisions are a little bit less important. If you want to have a push clan, or if you want to have, a true competitive ESL style 5v5 clan, the decisions are going to look a little bit different. To varying degrees, you can be a little bit more lenient, depending on what your goal is, but know what it is and then make decisions based on that.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And I think one of the reasons that is good advice is because you then are less likely to get that difference of opinion, which I think Beer was trying to hint at there, in terms of the bigger you grow, the harder it is to get a consensus sometimes. And what's nice there is that's actually a lot of how Supercell operate with their games, if you will, in terms of small teams but highly effective teams. So it sounds like you run your clan on a very similar model to that, if you will.
Yeah, and it's, another point, the more people you have, the more managing you need to do. You want to use your time wisely when it comes to stuff like this, because it is a lot of work. When you put in time, you want that time to be effective. And if you have 600 people in your clan, there's no way that you can be effective, right? And if you're trying to win a 5v5 style tournament, you don't need 600 people.
Yeah, totally. We've covered a lot of tips there in terms of what people need to do to start a clan, identify what it is that you want, nurture that, and how to expand. You've managed to get signed by a pro team. You're at that level. What are a couple of tips you would give to people to actually improve their gameplay, to get on that level? What is it that you guys do to maintain them skills to compete? And we'll get into the Mobile Open. I know you guys are in the final. We'll tell everyone about that very shortly.
I would say that part of our journey to becoming Space Station Gaming through Lost Meta Gaming was our initial name. We really made a name for ourselves in the Town Hall Cups that they had last year. We were in the final 8 of every single one of those. And the reason we were able to get there was through preparation, whether it was base testing, scrimmaging within our group. To get to the next level, once you're in an ESL style war, if you're not preparing all week long for that one event, or even longer, you might as well not even do it, because the clans that you're coming up against that are trying to win those events have been preparing for a week, 2 weeks, even longer. ESL event, it's coming up 2 weeks later, and you are building bases for weeks on end. You're testing those bases. If it's a lower town hall, maybe you're working with metas. There's all kinds of things that are preparing for that one event, which is a big switch from clans that are coming from the random side of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Great points. Anything to add to that, Gum?
I think, as with anything, if you want to be the best or near to the top, practice is ultimately your only option. At the end of the day, the top players in the world are all practicing all of the time. There's really no shortcuts there. That being said, using your time efficiently and wisely is also important, right? Not every single player is going to be the greatest base builder. Maybe they aren't the best at innovating and figuring out new attack styles, but they're good at everything else, and so kind of having a well-rounded team where you have people who can kind of cover each one of those bases is really important.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And one thing that I remember from talking to a lot of the pro teams, that within your team of 5, you really do need that diversity. And I think that ricochets throughout the clan, as you're mentioning there.
For sure. And also, like, when you're getting to this level, Judo, a lot of what you said there is spot on. Clans are scouting other clans. If you know another clan is just going to be doing ground attacks, you're building against that clan for ground attacks. If you know that the clan is very good with air, you're building against them for air. If they're well-rounded, it's very difficult to build against any clan, and that's why you look at the top 5 or 6 clans in the world. All 5 of their players have multiple different skill levels they can utilize.
Totally, yeah. Something I had not necessarily thought of in terms of that diversity, that actually counteracting that becomes even harder. Now, obviously, the Mobile Open, it's Season 5. I can't believe we've already had that amount of seasons. Like I said, the ESL Clash of Clans Twitter page will be linked down below. You can stay up to date with everything you need. There will be the final. Space Station Gaming is within that. Congratulations again, but I know that the final's not nailed on.
It's pending for July 7th in Dallas as a closed event. I think Gum and I don't think it's going to happen live in Dallas. It'll be an online event. They haven't given us the date for that. As far as preparation for it, though, we're in the middle of preparing for Worlds as well.
I think this has been an incredibly valuable video for people in terms of just sharing your journey, how you started, got into the different clans, and it just shows that you don't always have to just create a clan from scratch. You can very much kind of move up through the ranks, if you will, and I think that's important to share alongside a lot of the other tips in terms of growing and getting to that pro scene, maintaining yourselves on that pro scene. And I want to thank you both for coming on, but have you got any closing tips or words or anything?
The thing I would add is Gum and I work very well together as a leadership group for Space Station Gaming, and I would highly recommend any group that does get into the 5v5 competitive scene have a strong leadership group. And I think one of the main reasons we've been able to succeed over the years is that Gum and I, while he's a very good player, I'm an above average player, neither of us are playing competitively, and it has allowed us to be very objective when it comes to what players we have in the Space Station Gaming team and in the Space Station Gaming family. Neither of us have any biases towards other players. We don't have biases towards ourselves because we're actually not even playing in those events. We're managing those events for the players that we have. And I think maybe the most important thing is if you decide to take this seriously, is to find a leadership group that can manage it as non-biased as possible, and just keep your focus on what your task is at hand, and you can succeed that way.
Wow, I think that's an incredible thing for people to take away at the end of this, because I think it's only natural to think that you have to do everything. You know, as a leader, you have to be a player and you have to do X and Y and you have to be involved with everything. But actually, when you are on that pro scene, it's very much like in any, you know, career, any job, you have your role, and you know, you all work together as an organization, and I think that's a really important thing for people to take away.
Yeah, that was a very good point. We play enough that we, you know, understand the game mechanics well and understand meta, but really you have to focus on leadership. I mean, maybe if you're a single 5-person team, you know, sure, but if you really want to build an organization, you know, you really have to focus your energy. Also being able to, you know, delegate tasks out to others who are good in other areas to kind of split up the workload is also a huge help and really important.
Yeah, awesome. So we've certainly gone through tips for people getting started, maintaining, growing to that pro scene, and then really when you are at that scene, diving a little bit more into the nitty-gritty there of what it takes as a team and an organization. So I just want to thank both of you for joining me for the video. I appreciate your time, and any shout outs at the end? Gum, we start with yourself.
I'm thankful to have, you know, this awesome group of people around me who's helped me even in real life through things, and obviously Space Station for believing in us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Beer, how about yourself?
I'd like to shout out to the leadership group of Gum, Chat, Param, and Joel, the 5 leaders of Space Station Gaming, and every single member that calls Space Station Gaming their home. I truly do consider all of them family. And a big shout out to Space Station, Sean Durst and Unit for giving us an opportunity. And Judo, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that will help people out a lot, but best of luck in the Mobile Open final. Like I said, guys, ESL Clash of Clans Twitter will be down in the description. I'd highly recommend going and following the page, not just for the Mobile Open, but for the World Championships, everything else. That is where you will find out where you can watch Space Station taking on Postal Clash as part of the Season 5 final. So thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you in the next video.